or saved her love for a rainy day.
Roll call, please, Mrs. Calanda. Mrs. Applebaum? Mr. Applebaum? Here. Mr. Jacob? Here. Mr. Major? Present. Mrs. Mogerman? Here. Dr. Ciartino? Here. Mrs. Feldman? Here. Special recognitions, there are none tonight. Additions, corrections, and modifications to the agenda. Addition of report on students from unaccredited districts transfer process. 5.0, no citizen statements. 6.0, call for executive session, none. 7.0, approval of agenda for August 7th, 2013. May I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. 8.0, resolutions, there are none. 9.0, communications. 9.01, calendar of meetings. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education is scheduled for Wednesday, August 28th, 2013. Here at Central Middle School at 7:30 p.m. 9.02, liaison reports. Yes.
I spent some time up at the summer school on a visit, and then also at the college readiness. I just have to say I'm really a proponent of Mr. Hunsaker and also Mike Cosgrove. What a marvelous job with summer school this year, and I'm sure he's done that every year. I just was a little closer to it this year, and so very enjoyable. Nice lunch there, and also the science in residence. Apparently, Bruce and I were up there for that, and just what a great thing we've done there. And I hope that we'll get some grants to be able to continue to do. We just have to come up with a new acronym, MER or something. But time well spent. I've really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Chris. Anybody else? Yes.
I enjoyed the welcome back for our food service folks yesterday morning. Always an important part of the process.
And I was able to catch the tail end of the SIR, which was always really interesting. It's great to get the feedback from the teachers about how much they appreciate being able to learn something and apply it right away to the students. And then we were here for the welcome to the new teachers, which is really interesting, seeing all the teachers out there that could be students. and thinking about the fact that they're beginning a path on a career that, never know where it could be.
What's especially rewarding to me about that is the homegrown teachers that I see and that I meet in our buildings, and people are so proud to come back to Parkway. I just think that's really nice. I always am excited to hear from people. We welcome back the administrators. Was that last week?
Last Wednesday, actually,
We heard from Eric Greitens, a really, really wonderful speech. I'm about midway through his book. Wish I had a little bit more time to devote to it, but what a great guy.
Yeah.
He should make us all proud.
Our homegrown.
Yeah,
also.
definitely homegrown. Anybody else?
Capable, curious, and confident.
Extremely confident.
Combat ready.
And compassionate.
Yes.
Okay, 10.0, action items. May I have a motion and a second to approve the action items?
So moved.
Second.
Is there anything that needs to be called?
I will not vote on personnel items.
Okay, is there a specific number, line number?
That would be 1002.
Okay, you vote on everything else?
Yes.
Okay,
1002 is the whole section.
no,
Yes.
no, yes.
1002 is the specific to personnel.
Is there a specific line?
Line on
okay.
the,
It doesn't
The line item.
Line item 48 or
Well, whatever.
okay,
And
well, how about if we got
Madam
it?
President, can we pull 10.09 to action?
Okay, let's pull 10.09 to action. Okay, we're going to vote on everything else other than 10.09. And should we do 10.02 separately?
No. Just call for the vote.
Okay. We've had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay?
Motion
Carries 6-0, except for 10.02, which carries 5-0.
501.
501, thank you. And now we're going to discuss 10.09.
It's much easier to do that sitting here than sitting.
Yeah. 10.09.
Madam President, if I might, 10.09 is acceptance of a gift to Shenandoah Valley Elementary to create the King's Corner in honor of Karen L. King, who lost her courageous battle with cancer on May 8, 2013 at the age of 67. Karen was born in St. Louis on December 4th, 1945 to Charles F. and Margie Salisbury King, and she is survived by one brother, Charles Richard King. Karen was an avid genealogist and loved serving as an OASIS tutor at Shenandoah Valley Elementary School. Our thanks to the family. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's vote on 10.09. May I have a motion and a second to approve 10.09?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries 6-0. 11.0, action items. Tonight there are none. And 12.01, report on students from unaccredited districts transfer process. Dr. Chelsea Watson and Dr. Joy Torgerson, please come forward.
We didn't make a slide because the numbers keep changing as we speak. We wanted to give you an update as far as the unaccredited transfer process was going. Chelsea and I, well, Chelsea has been working on this much longer than I have, but we actually went on Friday to begin the first round of the transfer students. And around 2 o'clock, we got our first set of students, and we were able to get through those packets. Between Friday afternoon and then all day Monday, we worked on that. And then we've had some additions today, but we are up to 113 students that we have invited to be a part of Parkway for next year. As of today, just about 5 o'clock, 33 of those students are actually enrolled. So considering they found out Monday and today is Wednesday, I think that's a pretty fast turnaround for those families being able to do that. We still believe that we are going to have some additional students. We have some phone calls coming in, but the CSD process has changed a little bit since we first started that first and second round. So catching up with that is taking a little bit more time than what we anticipated. But right now we have in all of our levels, it's pretty evenly spaced. We have 31 elementary students that we've invited to be part of Parkway. We have 40 at the middle schools and 42 at the high schools. The biggest grade levels that we have interest in has been 2nd grade, 7th grade, and 9th grade. So those were the most popular grade levels thus far. I think that I have to say, though, that Chelsea and her staff and the folks that helped us call, it has been, truly heartwarming to be on the receiving end of those phone calls. We have lots and lots of parents who are extremely happy to be part of Parkway, and as much as consternation as we've gone over trying to find places for everybody and the shifting of the numbers, it makes it all worthwhile when you hear those parents and the excitement about getting to start their students. So we'll continue working, and we think that we're going to have some others, but so far that's where we stand.
Has there been the lottery yet that they talked about?
Yes, we believe the lottery took place.
Okay.
So I think that's a little bit of what's taking some time.
If I can add to that, in regards to the lottery, those students those parents who chose Melville and did not get to Melville or Kirkwood, those parents had until noon on Monday to go to CSD or communicate with CSD new choices. And so we are waiting on more families to come our way based on some calls we've received indicating they've chosen Parkway. We're just waiting for the paperwork to catch up so we can officially get them enrolled. So And as Joy was talking about the families, at ISC, it has just been very joyful. Parents are, as they come in and their kids are there, so excited to be part of our Parkway family. And just, as I've heard many times, we feel blessed that we are able to join the Parkway School District. So it's been very positive.
Just a quick question. Let's say that Riverview gets a credit again. Do these kids then, is it voluntary for them to stay, or do they have to go back? Or, you know, I'm just thinking of kids getting pulled back and forth, and
Well,
I
as
wonder,
of
are they Parkway
right
students?
now,
Or?
my understanding is, and I say that because things are constantly changing. As of right now, students will go back to their school district if indeed they become accredited. But if that happens in the middle of a school year, 1 year, what will that look like? I don't know. This is a yearly process as of right now. Students will have to apply
I believe it'll take more than 1
every
year
year.
to get re-accredited,
Yes.
if it even happens.
I, as a former CSD board member, I'm very proud of how they stepped up. And we all know the good work Dr. Crescenti does firsthand. And we know his heart's in the right place trying to help all these kids. And I'm really proud of all of you guys because, you know, it was all last minute. You're trying to make sense of the chaos and try to work out a process. And I knew once, you know, we got through it, well, you're still in the middle of some of it, but once you get the kids here, that's going to be great for them. And I just wanted to thank you and your staffs for their hard work.
How has this impacted our registrars and their move to ISC?
Well, it didn't impact their move, but it's impacting our ability to keep up and to make sure that we are entering the student information into Infinite Campus. So we have put in place some various protocols to try to make sure we're communicating with Joy. Joy receives a report every day as to the students who are not at Infinite Campus. And so she receives a report by school and by grade level as she is monitoring the numbers district-wide. So that is something that we put into effect because we are trying to keep up. For example, and I didn't get the numbers today, yesterday by 3 o'clock we had, I sent that email to you all, what do we have, 40, 33, 40, 40 some odd new families registering. So we have our parents from Riverview and Normandy coming in, but we also have parents who are moving into the area coming in. We have the temporary registrars, and they have been wonderful. They have really, really helped support the process. Our registrars worked Saturday from around 7 to 4. They are working overtime. They are coming in this Saturday and Sunday to try to keep up. So we have a very dedicated group of registrars. We also have some school liaisons who are former registrars who are volunteering to come and help after hours and on the weekend as well.
Wow.
So we have also put into a process, a protocol where we email principals the face sheet to let them know this is the name of the child, this is the grade level, these are the parents. They're going to get Infinite Campus hopefully within the next 24 hours, but we want principals to know right away who's coming in each day. So we are doing our very best to keep up, and the folks around there are working diligently.
Is there a plan, and I'm sure there is, for a child who shows up on the first day of school and at a school? And I mean, do principals know what to do with that child? Let's say they've never.
A child that has not registered?
I mean, does the principal know what to do with the child? What?
Yeah. Yes.
Who to call
Yes.
to get
Yes.
it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Would you say that our registration process is going more smoothly this year than last year?
Yes, it is, and I will say that there was a district secretaries meeting yesterday that Nathan attended, and he talked to the secretaries about the process. And really, as we think about this as a 3-year plan, last year was year 1, this year is year 2, and again, online registration, the company will have our information to us for us to start testing in the fall. And so next year, parents will do everything online, hit a button, submit, and when they come to ISC, we hope that conversation is about 10 minutes, where the registrar is again looking over that information, making sure everything is accurate, having them sign off, and they're on their way. So as we think about this 3-year plan, as we talk about it at ISC, this year is going much better, and the feedback from the secretaries based on the meeting yesterday was positive. Nathan actually even put an email out to the registrars with some of the feedback that he received, giving them a kudos. So yes, it is better than it was last year. And will be even better next year.
Joy, yeah, yesterday you mentioned that you were squeezed in a couple of different grade levels, and I know you just mentioned 2nd, 7th, and 9th. Have you had any trouble placing any of our incoming students, be it from Riverview Gardens, Normandy, or Parkway residents, in any of these grade levels?
Not yet. It's just that, you know, I have to be careful. I just don't have the number of choices, but I still have some choices.
Okay.
How was it decided which schools the students would attend?
Well, we followed our process that we follow for our, you know, out-of-district VST students as well. So we followed the same process so we would be consistent. Then on top of that, what I did is I took all of the enrollments and then I accounted for all of the people who, you know, we knew were coming. In other words, they were in that holding pattern, they were missing something, accounted for all of the VST placements, and then I was able to come up with, this is how many spots I have at each grade level for each school. So we, you know, we were really, I mean, it really worked out pretty well because we had, you know, with as many schools as we have some good choices. But there are other, you know, areas. I mean, we have more room, for instance, in the south and west areas than we have, for instance, in the central area.
Do parents try to negotiate a school?
Sometimes, but we're able to give choices.
Oh, good.
It's kind of like with, you know, your own children. You don't say no, but here's your choice.
How many of the students are first choice, that we're a first choice school district?
40.
I think we were at, it was 42.
Yeah. Is there a reason why those that seem to be interested to come here that are second and third, that were second and third choice, is there a reason why they didn't apply as a first choice school originally?
I think they want transportation.
It was, I say
Mainly over
transportation,
transportation.
because you could tell from where they lived, their addresses, and then sometimes they would put on their application that this was close to their work or something. So it really had to do with their family situation.
Dee, I'd like to just go back and your question about whether, you know, students come to the schools, what the principals want to do. No matter if it's a resident student, a VST student, or these students, our principals know they have to go through the district because that's where, you know, everything is checked, including residency.
Because they're really not part of our district yet. I mean, do you call CSD? I mean, I know the child will be taken care of that day.
Right.
But there must be some place they'll call you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you'll call CSD or whoever. Yes, I'm sure you do.
But, you know, the deadline for applications for students
Right.
coming was August 1st, so.
I just wanted to make sure we were thinking ahead.
Yeah.
We didn't want 10 kids.
Right,
sitting
we're
us-
trying, and we're still getting calls about, you know, parents are, you know, now becoming aware that
Sure.
they, you know, aren't going to a school where they haven't been accepted at either Melville or Kirkwood, as other ways that they can get here. And we're really saying, no, we're sticking with the process because we really put a process in place. And that process, I just want to say to your comment, Dee, always was about helping families
Right.
and children. That's,
Right.
you know, I appreciate your comment about CSD and what we've been trying to do. We really have been trying to concentrate on our families and not having to run around to all the districts and make separate applications. So we really have been, and when we've called and had to give them, as Sam, you asked, give them the, you know, information about a school, maybe other than the one they'd like to go to. I mean, we've been really sensitive in trying to encourage them to come out and give it a dry run. You know, maybe you'll be surprised. It's not going to Central High School is not such a bad bet. You know, so
Absolutely.
I really am proud too. I'm proud of the work that we did at CSD to try to make this a process, and I'm proud certainly of our staff and I think it's gone very well considering the timelines and the path we were going down that had never been traveled before. So
Right.
I think it's worked quite well.
Another thing that we have really been trying to do is keep kids together. So when we have the opportunity and there is a, you know, third grade spot and maybe there are 3 third grade spots and we have 3 third graders, to keep them together in the same school. And so hopefully that will allow for families to maybe support each other with transportation or other needs that they may have. So
I guess we cannot tell the families, the other families that are coming because of privacy laws. So they're just going to have to,
But we have a plan.
okay,
yes.
good, okay.
yes, that the principals will coordinate that effort. And so we're
Good.
suggesting that principals immediately get information from the families and ask if it's okay to share their contact information and create a list so that can happen.
Good, that's great.
Do you know what the breakdown is between Normandy and Riverview Gardens? As far as
The breakdown between Normandy and Riverview Gardens. I
don't know. We stopped looking at it.
I can certainly do that.
So many different numbers, it's also confusing.
And the change,
Yeah, actually, I could have told you after the first one, but we lost it.
We do have more applicants from Riverview Gardens than Normandy. Just don't have the exact numbers.
I want to say, based on the calm and straightforward and thoughtful way that our district administration has handled this, I have every confidence that our schools will carry on in the same manner and welcome the kids and do whatever we can to make this their home now. I thank you all for doing what you've done.
And I completely agree, because this came up, and we seem to be a little bit more on top of it than a lot of districts. But I did have one question, and this is probably pretty speculative at this point, but if one of the districts were to dissolve and not make it through the school year, has there been any thought as to what would happen to those kids?
You're talking about the kids left in the home district, the students left in those districts you're talking about.
Yeah, if that were to get absorbed by another district?
Well, Mr. Stockwell has actually had some discussion about what is the status of all districts, our own including, and of those sending students to us. And I think there's certainly just beginning that discussion. Speculation is that both districts will be paying a major price, obviously, a major piece of their budget in tuition, and may run into some difficulty in the future. And that probably falls on DESE and the state to support them. All students by the Constitution have to be educated, so there's going to have to be, certainly the state is going to have to step in and at least get us through the year, or have an alternative to what's going to happen to those students and families. That's a great question, but it's one of the many unknowns now. There's many.
Well, you'd hate to see kids that are going here or other districts then all of a sudden slide back into another situation, because of the vacuum that's left out there.
I think you're probably starting to see where a lot of legislators last night. I see where a couple of legislators at a meeting in Kirkwood spoke up and agreed that there's got to be some resolution of this, and it's got to be, there's got to be some coming together and some collaboration, not that's some of the partisanship we've seen and division we've seen. And so we'll see if the legislature is true to that. Commissioner Castro has been really making some strong appeals that we cannot continue this path. It's not in the best interest of the region. It's not in the best interest of any student in Missouri. So I think there's been a lot of discussion, certainly no resolution yet, but I think we all realize that there's some concern about other districts falling in non-accreditation. What would happen to those students? What would happen to districts like Parkway's responsibility to continue taking students? I mean, there's just a lot of speculation about the future, and so we certainly need some discussion. DESE each day has some thoughts about wanting to have some discussion, and I think there has to be, once we get the school year started, I think there has to be ongoing discussion now. And we'll have to be, Parkway as a regional school district and a leader has to be part of that discussion. We're not immune and shouldn't be, and we really feel that we ought to be part of that discussion for the good of everybody.
Thank you both.
thank you.
I think we're 13.0 work session, there is none. 14.0 policy review, there is none. 15.0 call for special meeting, there is none. I'd like to call for an executive session August 28th, 2013. May I have a motion and a second that the Board of Education call for an executive session on Wednesday, August 28th, 2013 at 6:30 p.m. and or immediately following the regular meeting at Central Middle School for the purpose of considering 1, legal actions, causes of action, or litigation, involving the district and any confidential or privileged communication between the district or its representatives and its attorneys, 610.021.1. 2, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting of particular employees by the district when personal information about the employee is discussed or recorded, 610.021.3. 3, preparations on behalf of the district or its representative for negotiations with employee groups, including any discussion or work product, 610.021.9. And 4, individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings and records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment, 610.021.13.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Applebaum?
Yes.
Mr. Jacob?
Yes.
Mr. Major?
Aye.
Mrs. Mogerman?
Yes.
Dr. Ciartino?
Yes.
Mrs. Feldman?
Yes, thank you. Motion carries 6-0. 17.0, recess, and there is no closed meeting, so I wish you all a good night. May I have a motion and a second to adjourn the regular meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0, and at this time, we will adjourn. Did we set a record?
No.
Not quite? We could've-
We had like an 8-minute meeting in, I don't know what year.